watching the #1 podcast in the whole entire wrestling community. And I'm one of your hosts, Juan.
And I'm your other host, Jean-Paul Leck.
And together we are...
Road Break.
And family, another Smackdown. Are you ready for some bullshit? And yeah, go home show for Hell in a Cell, Jean-Paul. And a bad show. Another bad show.
Yeah. I definitely wanted to go home.
Yeah.
I do anything else.
They took us home with that awful show. Yeah, it's actually a miracle they were awake to do this because it was that bad of a show. I think that, the hype for, Hell in a Cell, not even, all the matches are announced yet. They announced one more match. It's going to be Otis and The Miz to, see who's the right winner for the Money in the Bank briefcase. And we got a whole episode on, Law and Otis that Jean-Paul loved. We got a lot of special guests on that. But overall, the show is still not good. I kind of liked it a little better when The Fiend and Alexa were right there. Maybe Nikki Cross, not really built for the women outside of Sasha and Bayley. So I'm I'm still not satisfied with what I'm seeing every Friday, Jean-Paul.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like SmackDown right now, it's the worst of Monday Night Raw with the worst of SmackDown. Yes. Even though they have a lot of good stars and a lot of stuff, it's just all the matchups we saw tonight. Now, we did see the good match between Rollins and Buddy Murphy, but that match should have been a pay-per-view match. It should have, felt more important. Maybe the feud's not over, but, it should have felt more legit. And it's, and it didn't, on the show that was just surrounded by bullshit segment after bullshit segment, no one's going to remember that good match they had. But
and besides, also, what do you think? If Buddy Murphy wins, shouldn't that be more meaningful? A great match, but then in the end, Rollins wins.
What did they do every time with Dominic?
Yeah,
legit match, but Rollins wins.
Yeah, how can
is Rollins now? If this is how they book it, to me, the next logical step would be Rollins going after Roman Reigns, but we'll see. Let's get into
Let's get it done. So thank you so very much for supporting us in every single thing we do, family. Don't forget it was released an hour ago, hour and a half.
Hot off the press.
Hot and fresh. And also look, this is a good show. An hour, and we will keep stressing. I don't get upset for anything, but contract signing for the match that is going to be with Ilya Dragunov and Walter. So it's going to be, next week. So they had the contract signing, a really good show for NXT UK. Don't forget to watch that, family. We go over every single thing, more stuff from the Heritage Cup. So, Mr. Egg, let's go to the SmackDown opens up with Kevin Owens and Daniel Bryan. So I'm so why is this?
The KO show, and when Kevin Owens came out, I legit forgot he was on SmackDown.
Yeah,
I thought he was on Raw.
That's how meaningful the superstars nowadays, the wrestlers, how meaningful they're. And look at this. He's Jean-Paul, don't worry. I know it's bullshit. It's legit. You don't need to be all upset about it. So he has his guest as Daniel Bryan, right, Jean-Paul? And then they're talking about, hey, I won all the championships in the WWE but as a singles competitor, but I have never been able to win, a tag team championship. So he's how about, Jean-Paul, you and me decide to dominate the tag team divisions? And he says, well, I wonder why, I never won tag team gold. And he's Daniel Bryan. I like that line. Daniel Bryan, well, you betray all your best friends. So so that was good. I like that. I like that. And, Daniel Bryan also mentions that the IC belt should be defended every single time, every single episode. So, right after we see that, then we get Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler, the best tag team in the world. No, two losers that are very talented, but completely misused, Jean-Paul. And then we got to see the Street Profits coming out, and then we got to see Cesaro and Nakamura, and hell broke loose right there. And what does that do in WWE fashion, Jean-Paul? What does that mean?
Yes,
what is that?
Yeah, this is setting up a match, and this was bad. And when did we? And you'll have to excuse me, but this just shows, how good this show is. When was the set? Was that when did Sami Zayn call out Daniel Bryan in this segment, or was that later on?
No, that was later. That was
okay later. Because I was it's he mentioned his stuff with the IC belt, but then this is mainly a tag team thing, and I wouldn't have minded if the tag team champs, you're the champs. Why do you have to mingle in the affairs of everybody else? Just worry about being the champ.
So like you worry about whoever wins this affair.
So like if
contenders,
if one team would have came out and they had the match and they looked good and they won, give a 20-minute tag match against Ziggler and Rude and they beat them because Ziggler and Rude are losers, they're jobbers at this point. So it's like if Bryan and Owens beat them, look good. That's all I need. I don't need this 8-man tag, this clusterfuck of a match where I have to see, people like Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro job for Angelo Dawkins.
Yeah, exactly. And, like Daniel Bryan, like the theme of the story of the match, like the whole, like was like he got injured, supposedly, quote unquote. But in the end, we get this jump. So who cares?
He wasn't actually injured. He was just Daniel Bryan selling for the whole match.
I don't have anything against the Street Profits, but they made them look way too good. And you know how we feel when like tags look or like anybody looks.
Well, that's exactly what I said. It's these guys, they come in at the end and they're the ones they beat up Nakamura and Cesaro, and it's like we know who the more legit guys are, Nakamura and Cesaro.
So I just don't like this. So what is it like all the baby faces get the win? It doesn't make any sense because you make heels with the heels winning. And see that's what you did in the next segment after that because we got we have Low and Otis. So Otis is presenting his case, to JBL. So that was like different. He's presenting his case like he's representing himself against John Morrison and The Miz, and then JBL is the freaking with the judge, and we got to see we got to see Ron Simmons, we got to see Playa for Jean Paul, we got to see Asuka, we got to see Taki, but like the story went through as the show went on. So Jean Paul, we go through like. Well, you want to say something about this?
I was going to say, to just talk about all these segments as a whole. It was enjoyable. It was kind of funny. It's some spots, other spots, it was like, okay, I did like they brought in Rey Mysterio and all that. I mean, I did like when
as a witness, they got it as a witness.
I do like when Tucker was talking. He's like, "Oh yeah, like I'm gonna kick your ass, Miz." He's like, "You deserved all the shit, all the emotional distress." And I love when he stands up to kick the Miz's ass. Otis looks at him. He's like, "Tucky, like calm down, Tucky."
What did he say?
Tucky.
Tucky.
I mean, it's funny, but at the end, it just. I wish it could have just been like, hey, this has gone on long enough. This is bullshit.
With Asuka though, Asuka was like speaking in Japanese so fast.
Oh yeah, and then JBL's like, "Did you get any of that?" And then he's like, "The whole thing."
Did you get any of that?
Say every word, player.
Right there. Yep. Yeah. So that was, that was a little funny, like you said.
But the match,
was way better than the musical.
Yeah, the match that we're gonna get though, it's like, do we care? I mean, imagine if Otis loses. What are you going to do with The Miz? Is The Miz going to cash in? It's so stupid. It's just hopefully Otis wins and he can cash in and hopefully he wins the WWE Championship, even if it's for a day or two.
I don't know.
Whatever.
I will be and I will get behind SmackDown if that happens because
I should play like a week or two.
Everybody rise.
Yep.
There it is. Yeah. So you said it, and like the only reason that JBL changed his decision right here is because the Miz gave him another piece of evidence, and that was like money. There you go. Wee! See, it's like, are you gonna watch Robert? Wee! Yeah. So that was good, and that's how the story pretty much is ended when it comes to Otis and JBL and all of this thing. So at Hell in a Cell, we're gonna see Otis and the Miz going against for the right to like have the Money in the Bank briefcase. So Jean Paul, let's go really, really fast with like the women's match that we had, and it's like they're trying to, push Bianca Belair. That's what it is, and they had to resort to a few that we've seen before with Selena Vega and Monday Night Raw. Remember when she poisoned Montez Ford and all of that? When the days of like a good tag team that never turned out to become champions, Andrade Cien Almas and Angel Garza. So this was a squash match. And this is well done. This is the way in WWE fashion, not NXT UK fashion. So that means it was really quick. KOD, Keys of Death, and done.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for Zelina, but it's, Bianca's the one they're pushing. She's the hot one that's rumored to be the, women's Royal Rumble winner. So, Zelina, thanks for coming, I guess.
Yes, and, talking about thanks for coming, that you mentioned the segment that, like, about Daniel Bryan and Sami Zayn right there.
There it is.
Like, Fidel Castro going to Daniel Bryan and saying, hey, whatever comment you have, my friend, just keep it to yourself. He's like, I'm the IC champion, and I choose who I face, where I face them, and, and how, and stipulations and all of that. Whatever you have to say, just keep it quiet. So I mean, like you said, if they're gonna return to this feud, I don't want to see this because Daniel Bryan is gonna win the title, and I do not want to see Daniel Bryan close to gold anywhere possible. And you are probably say, why is this? Because Daniel Bryan has held every single title in the WWE. So what's the point? And when he was IC champ, it didn't even feel like he was the IC champ. What do you think?
Yeah, I see. If you do this like this match, this feud, you could easily have Sami Zayn go over and give me a legit wrestling match. Because he said, "Oh, I beat you at WrestleMania," but it was a bullshit match. We thought, okay, if they legit went, if this was Sami Zayn against Nakamura in NXT against Daniel Bryan, that would have been the best match at Mania.
Probably,
but we got a bullshit match because they didn't want that to happen. They didn't want it to steal the show because Vince doesn't. He likes Daniel Bryan, but I'm sure he doesn't give a shit about Sami Zayn one way or the other. Yeah. So it's like, but now maybe he's in the good graces a little bit and things are better. And we actually, he put on that hell of a match, the triple threat ladder match. So if they do a legit wrestling match and Sami Zayn wins, I'm fine with it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if Sami Zayn goes over, I'm fine because he needs to start putting. He needs to start.
Well, that's what I think Daniel Bryan. That's what I think he's gonna start doing. He's the older veteran. Hey, I'm gonna put guys over.
Yeah, he has his spot. I don't care. I don't want to see him as WWE champion. I don't care any storyline that he's involved. I just don't care. You know who I care though, Jean Paul. The actor of Forbidden
Films.
The freak Lars. I make out with the guy Sullivan. So right here. So you look at that face, Jean Paul. Who wouldn't want to kiss him? I don't know. But he got a match with Shorty G. This was another squash match, of course, because Sullivan, they're pushing him. There's going to be, aside of Roman, I think he's going to be one of the most important heels on SmackDown. So this match was pretty quick. I mean, Kayla Braxton was right there and he's asking Shorty, why do you get this match? What's the point of this? And Shorty's like, well, I want to establish myself and might as well go with the biggest guy. And that's what happened right away, the freak accident or the forbidden accident. And that's what it was. That 1, 2, 3 and done. Right,
and then after this match, I thought I was watching NXT, but then I was like, no, wait, this show's not half decent. This show is awful. There's no way it can be NXT. But, here, Austin Theory, Chad Gable, he said he quit.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I was like, well, I'm like, what kid? Did Vince actually watch NXT for the first time in his life? And he was like, oh, well, that's a legit storyline, Triple H. I'm going to copy that. But but then we'll just talk about it now since it's right here. Chad Gable, he's in the back getting medically looked at, and he said to Adam Pearce, he's like, hey, listen, I'm done. He's like, I quit, and he's like, what? He's like, I quit being Shorty G. I quit being the guy who's just happy to be here, who's just smiling and all this other bullshit. He's like, I'm going back to the Olympic champion, somebody named Gable. And I'm like, that would be legit if, I don't know what Jason Jordan is. I think he's still done. I think, unfortunately, I don't think they said he's going to be coming back ever, and that's really unfortunate for him. But that would be legit if they could, if he would be coming back. But we know that's not the case.
Yeah,
but,
this is the American Alpha.
Yeah, this is good for Chad Gable because Shorty G was just so bullshit.
Oh yeah, I know. You need short
when he had the long hair and the bandana, kind of looking like Jean Paul Leek. That's when he was legit.
Yeah, and hopefully he can win matches again.
Yes.
So let's go with a promo by Seth Rollins. He says that tonight he's gonna face Buddy Murphy. So he says that he's gonna find out. Meaning Murphy is gonna find out the biggest mistake that he's ever done when he faces him because in the end he's gonna lose. So Jean Paul, that's the promo that we have. I mean, this feud is okay, but again, it's just still they're resourcing to the same feud that we've seen for already 3-4 months on Monday Night Raw. So I don't know how invested I am as of late. I think it was okay with they tried the love trial thingy with Aaliyah and Murphy, but it's the backlash that they had because she's 19, he's 35 or something.
31.
So they tone it down. So I don't know how invested
this feud has gone on too long. It's not good enough. This isn't like Kurt Angle, Triple H, and Stephanie. This isn't like that where it's 3 adults and it's they're acting and it's legit. Murphy's good. Rollins is good. Reyes is uncomfortable in this role. You can see everything. It's so. But when he's in a solo feud, for a belt or something related to wrestling, Rey is all legit. Yes. But then. When it's this storyline with his family and his daughter, it's awkward and it's so stupid. We don't even see the wife anymore, probably because she's this is dumb. I don't even want to be here.
Yeah.
So this, I don't know. I don't like it. It needs to end. It needs to end,
Yeah,
it needs to end.
Doesn't need to end, Jean Paul, is this girl that, like, you saw it a few seconds ago. This is the best thing that this show has. The number one pro wrestling in the world, the number one ranked in the Pro Wrestling Illustrated, Bayley. So she's cutting a promo because she said that, like, she had 4 interviews, Jean Paul, and every single interview they asked about Sasha Banks and why hasn't she signed the contract. So he's like, well, I'm not going to do it. And she doesn't tell me what to do. I'm the champ. So the champ, only responds to whom? To myself, or in this case, to herself. So, like, she's like, oh, I'm not going to do it. And then we get to see Sasha Banks having the contract right there. So she brings it. And then they have a little bit more of a promo right there between each other. But then Sasha attacks Bayley right away, Jean Paul. So I like this. Like you said, this is the best thing that SmackDown has right now. These 2 girls right here. They're giving us what we want, and then Sasha got over, like, she beat her with a chair because Bayley was trying to attack with the chair, but Sasha was the one actually benefiting for that. And then we get to see this, Jean Paul.
Yeah, I love this. She's like, sign it, and then Bayley's like, and signed it. It was good. It was a way to get her to sign it, and we knew, what was she not going to sign it? And we know we don't get the match, and then Sunday we're all like, but it's good. It's the intensity, and I like it because this is a match, a lot of people are probably just going to be like, oh, yeah, Sasha's going to win. And, if you're, let's say, like, they're going to do the Bianca Belair wins the Royal Rumble, or some people are saying Rhea Ripley. But I'm still sticking with my plan. I would love to see Sasha Banks win it. Bayley, destroys her at Hell in a Cell. Because then you can really legitimize Bayley. That would be a hell of a title reign. That would be like, over 400 days.
Yeah.
If she holds it all the way till WrestleMania and then loses it to Sasha, but I Bayley deserves it. What did we say? She's the most legit thing on SmackDown.
No, she's been doing phenomenal at the acting. The feuds that she's had, the fact that she's been able to make those feuds like in some situations meaningful, better than what they are. So that's, for me, that's what it does. So, like, Sasha deserves Bayley. Like, it's going to be a great match. It's going to be a great match. I'm really looking forward to this. So we'll see what happens at Hell in a Cell. But, like, at least the feud will carry on, hopefully. And if it doesn't, at least, that's the one thing that SmackDown is going to miss once this is over. So let's talk about what we said. Buddy Murphy going against Seth Rollins. They put a good show. Like you say, Jean Paul. The best match of this show, it was these 2 guys. Why? Because we're both talented and both they have good chemistry. And Buddy Murphy's always been underestimated in his abilities as a professional wrestler. Mr. Leak.
Buddy Murphy is one of the best on this on this entire roster. I mean, the guy is so underrated. He's so good, and his knees are right up there with Matt Riddle's, and Kenny Omega's. Whoever you think has the best knee strikes, Buddy Murphy's in the top 2, top 3. He's better than one of those 2 guys, I would say. But he's so good, and the way he sells too, he can take a big move, and it looks like he's about to fall over and be done, and then he'll deliver a crazy move, and it's just such good stuff. And Rollins is a stud. People want to put him down and be like, oh, he sucks, or like, I don't like the heel gimmick, or this or that. But there's no way you can deny that this guy, every week, he's one of the top wrestlers also.
And also, Jean Paul, they play the story with Aaliyah. So see, Aaliyah was looking in the TV match. So this is what kind of took me out of it. Like, if anything, it should have just been where you had Aaliyah just watching it by herself, and then she just is at ringside and she's like, oh no, and then you have Rollins, he's gonna hit her, and then that's when you have like Ray come out or somebody, and then they take the kendo shot. They just drag this whole Aaliyah thing out, and then distracted us from the legit match, and I don't like it. Oh yeah, no, and like you said, when my biggest problem with this match is like Murphy counted like the stomp like 3 times, and he could never hit Murphy's Law. That's bothered me so much. Because
that's the out though, because I don't think this is their last match. I think they will have the blow off, the final match between these 2. I do think will be at a pay-per-view. But that's the thing. He didn't hit Murphy's Law. That's always the detail. It's like if you don't hit your finisher, you never know. So they might be saving that for the blow off, or hopefully Murphy goes over.
I was upset about that. It's like, really, like he countered the stomp like 3 times, and then he gets the stomp, of course, and then he didn't even get Murphy's Law. So I was just like really upset about that. So you guys think who won? Well, this guy won. So stomped and done. And then he grabbed a kendo stick just because he's obsessed with them. Right there, and then he was gonna keep beating the disciple because he's the Messiah. And then Aaliyah's like, oh, help him, guys. Talking about Mysterio and Dominic. Help him. He's like, so he's not our friend. So we're not going to do it. So, like, Aaliyah is the one that it comes out. And she's the one that, like, goes out and she tries to defend Murphy. So then, after that, then the Mysterios come out. So
it's so bad. It's just so bad. It's so bad. A little bit of
bad acting right here. Then, when everything's all said and done, that's when Dominic came out first, but then he got beat by Rollins. And then Mysterio comes out because, like, pretty much the reports are saying that he is, like, really close to be, fully recovered to go back in the ring. So, like, we'll see what happens in this feud. But, like, we're not really, really interested in it because, again, it's been way too long. It keeps having twists. So, like, first it was Dominic. Now Mysterio and Dominic. Now it's Aaliyah. So everything just keeps piling it up. So they continue this. And, like,
and then you saw Aaliyah. She was checking on Murphy, and she had her, like, hands, like, Miss Elizabeth, like, all over Macho Man, on right there on Murphy. And then he kind of had his hand on Aaliyah. Nothing, like, crazy. But then
don't be like, nothing like Austin Theory.
No. It was very respectful. It was like, okay, but like Ray was looking at him like, so, and then they're all like, so.
Yeah, so, don't forget, family. Robert will have coverage tomorrow and Sunday. We're going to have, Bound for Glory tomorrow. Jean-Paul, myself, of course, we're analyzing every single thing. And then Hell in a Cell on Sunday. So now, Jean-Paul, let's go to the main event, right there.
Do we have to?
The consequences of the Hell in a Cell, I quit. So right there. Oos, like eating the meal from, like, the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. He came out. And, like, Roman, you have changed, Oos. You're like, is kind of shitty that, like, you're tribal chief and everything. And, like,
and what's the one line that they always kept playing in the promo where he's like, you beat my ass, Oos? And I'm like, is he talking to Roman or Lars Sullivan?
I don't know.
Because I'm like, what do you like? Did he beat it? Like, ooh, like, I don't know. Like, yeah, like you beat my ass, Lars.
Are you talking about ass?
No, but I like the Isaiah Swerve Scott here they pulled, because then he takes off the thing, and then I mean, it's Jimmy. But, like, imagine if you're like, oh, okay, it's Jay because they're twins. Like, you don't, like, sell it. You're like, oh, so.
I mean, I'm liking that fruit and that bread. Looks good.
Yeah.
I mean,
it looks legit. Yeah, the tribal raspberries.
The tribal raspberries. Yeah, like, it looks good. So, like, he came out, and like you said, it was Jimmy.
Yes.
So then, Jay attacks from the back. So they had a little bit of an interaction right there, which I did like. Finally, like, Jay getting some offense. So that was good. Like, Roman was, like, all, like, Dan, he got a super kick. He got, like, I think he went to the ring post, to the turnbuckle, all of that. So that was good. I finally was like, okay, finally, like, they're getting some, some offense, this too. So I like that. But then Roman, of course, has to be all, like, it has to be the tribal chief. And then you go right here. And then he goes, cool, I think you like to play, Jay. Well, let's see if you take this serious, because I'm taking it very serious. Jay, if I quit, I will stop being the Universal Champion, the Tribal Chief. I will stop, like, feeding the family. I will stop to be their pride and joy. But, Jay, if you submit or you quit, you will recognize me. You will respect me for who I am in the WWE and for everything that I do for our family. If you quit, all your family will have to give you, turn their backs to you. You will, like, stay away from them forever. And not only you, but also your brother will receive the consequences. So, Jean-Paul, tell me what you told me before we went on air.
Didn't he say that do they have to leave WWE or no?
Kind of, like, he insinuated that, but
Yeah, because I'm like, okay, so, like, what are you gonna do? Like, you're not. Is Roman gonna lose? Are you gonna get rid of the Usos? And also, is Roman Reigns God? I know he's their tribal chief, but, like, where's Adam Pearce was on the show earlier? What's he going to be like, Roman? You're not judge, jury, and executioner. You can't just, like, decide what is going to happen and decide the livelihood of somebody else's family.
Yeah, so I don't like that. I mean, like, I said,
this was so. He's like a spoiled child.
Yeah, it sucks. I said that, and I'll keep saying every single show. You guys can hate all you want, can disagree with me. I'm not going to fire back because that's not my style. Well, we're a classy podcast, We don't like to go at our ends. So right there, it's just like every single story that this guy is in is just trash because you know what kind of, like, character he represents. See, I tried to say it in the best possible way. And then the one kind of, like, cool thing, it was like they raised the Hell in a Cell right there, and, like, For some reason, like Jay looks like
like Spider-Man.
Yeah. Like it's Spider J right here. So like this was okay, but like a lot of people have been saying, and you know, this Jean Paul changed the color of the cell to the regular steel.
Oh yeah, I'd rather have him go back to the old '80s blue steel cage at this point.
Yeah, well, like it'll match because it's SmackDown. So yeah, but no, you gotta have it red because it's just Vince McMahon likes it like that, and everything that's the biggest sports child. You know, that's the biggest sports child right there. So family, that's how the show ended. You know, like we're gonna have, I think, a pretty decent pay-per-view because like there's rumors, Jean Paul, that like Brock Lesnar might come back after the Hell in a Cell with McIntyre and Randy Orton to challenge whoever will get the title over there. So we'll see what happens here, but like we know that Roman is gonna win, and the poor Usos are not gonna be able to eat anymore. They're gonna have to leave WWE. No more tag teams. Everything so you know, so family, thank you so very much for all the reaction that we get from you. We will not be doing this without you. You know, we love you, and we want to keep doing this, and that's why we're going to put even more effort to bring you more content, and always in the best possible way. So, Jean-Paul, remind everybody where they can find us in the social media world.
You can find us on Rope Break on Facebook, the OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, the Original Rope Break right here on YouTube, and, of course, the new home for Rope Break, alleverythingentertainment.com.
So, family, don't forget, you know, like for the ones that are new to the house, you know, subscribe, hit the bell for all the notifications. We put content every single day. Like Jean-Paul said, the best content in wrestling, and also like soccer and everything, toys, everything. We have it like we're like all everything entertainment.
Exactly,
so
we are.
We'll see each other once again for Impact, Bound for Glory. Eric Young against Rick Swann, and you know Deonna Purrazzo against Kylie Ray. Not Kaylee Ray. No, not that one. No, yeah, the other Kylie. But it was going to be a great pay-per-view. So we'll meet you right there. So there's one more thing that is left to say, Jean Paul, and what is it?